They met when they were young, grew up together, shared laughs, shared dreams, but years later, that friendship ended in one of the most shocking crimes Kenya has ever seen. A young woman, bright, beautiful and brilliant, brutally murdered outside her university gate by someone who claimed to love her. I'm Wanja, and this is Crime Dopers, where we dive deep into the stories that haunt communities, challenge justice systems, and remind us that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones closest to us. And as always, listener discretion is advised. It's April 9th, 2019, Moi University School of Medicine, Eldoret, Kenya. Around 10 a.m., students are heading to class when chaos breaks out at the university gate. A 25-year-old medical student, Ivy Wangeci, is attacked by a man wielding an axe. Witnesses scream, security guards rush in, but by the time they reach her, it's too late. The attacker, a man named Naftali Kinuthia, a 28-year-old businessman from Thika, someone Ivy had known since childhood. That moment would spark nationwide outrage, grief, and an outpouring of anger over gender-based violence. To understand this case, we have to start with Ivy. She was a fifth-year medical student. Friends say she was focused, disciplined, and compassionate. Someone who will stay up late revising and still find time to mentor others. Her dream? To become a doctor serving rural Kenya, especially women and children. She grew up in Murang'a, in a loving family that supported her every step. Now, Naftali Kinuthia. He wasn't a stranger. He and Ivy had known each other for years, growing up in the same town. He ran a small business in Thika. To outsiders, he seemed mild-mannered, but those close to him describe him as possessive. According to testimonies later given in court, Kinuthia had developed strong romantic feelings for Ivy. He often sent her money, gifts, even flowers. But Ivy made it clear she valued him as a friend, nothing more. And that rejection lit a fuse. Let's walk through what happened step by step. April 8th, 2019. Kinuthia buys an axe and a knife from a hardware store in Thika. Receipts later found in his car confirm the purchase. He tells no one. Early morning, April 9th, 2019. He leaves Thika driving 1,050 kilometers toward Eldoret. He carries the weapons with him. Around 10 a.m., Ivy steps outside the university gate. She's meeting a friend, a classmate named Naomi, to discuss an upcoming project. Then, Kinuthia's car pulls up. Witnesses say he walks calmly towards Ivy as though approaching an old friend. But in seconds, everything changes. He swings the axe again and again before pulling out a knife. Students scream, security guards rush. Kinuthia tries to flee, but an angry crowd catches him and beats him severely before police intervene. Ivy dies instantly. A bright life cut short outside the very place where she was learning to save others. Police from Eldoret Central Station arrived minutes later. They find the weapon still at the scene, the axe bloodied, and the knife nearby. Kinuthia is unconscious, injured from the mob attack. He's rushed to Moi Technical and Referral Hospital under police guard. Detectives from the DCI begin the investigation immediately. They search Kinuthia's car. Inside, they find receipts from the Thika hardware store, his phone with message threads showing communication with Ivy, and a note expressing frustration, betrayal, and rage. Forensic teams confirm the blood on the axe matches Ivy's DNA. Witness statements from students and guards match the timeline exactly. Still, detectives face challenges. There's enormous public anger. Videos of the attack spread online, making it harder to control misinformation. But one thing is clear. This was premeditated. Kinuthia is charged with murder under Section 203 of the Penal Code. The trial begins at the High Court in Eldoret. It drags on for years. 2020, 2021, 2022. delays, mental health assessments, witness recalls. Every hearing brings Ivy's family back into painful memories. The defense argues that Kinuthia lost control, and I quote, after being humiliated. They claim he didn't plan to kill Ivy, but prosecutors present hard evidence: the purchased weapons, the distance traveled, the text messages, and eyewitness accounts. Every detail points to intention. One witness recalls Ivy saying days before her death, "He's been calling too much, I told him to stop." In 2024, 5 years after Ivy's death, the Eldoret High Court delivers its verdict. Naftali Kinuthia is found guilty of murder and sentenced to 40 years in prison. Justice at last, but not peace. The murder of Ivy Wangeci didn't just shake Moi University, it shook the entire country. Kenyans poured onto social under #JusticeForIvy. Protests broke out in Eldoret and Thika. Students demanded better protection, mental health support, and stronger laws against gender-based violence. Media houses ran special segments, churches held memorials, and families across Kenya began asking, "Could this happen to my daughter?" The case pushed national conversations about femicide, toxic masculinity, and entitlement in relationships. It also exposed gaps in how stalking and harassment are handled by authorities. For a while, Ivy became a symbol, a face of justice for so many women whose stories never made the headlines. To better understand crimes like this, we spoke to criminologist Dr. Peter Mwangi, who explains, and I quote, "In many of these cases, you see a pattern of obsession. The perpetrator feels entitled to love or attention. When that's denied, they interpret it as humiliation, and that triggers violence." The message is clear. Crimes like this don't start with weapons. They start with obsession, control, and silence. Ivy's story is not about loss. It's about a nation waking up. Her name reminds us that love should never come with fear. That saying no shouldn't cost you your life. She was 25. She had dreams and she deserved to live every single one of them. As we close this episode of Crime Dopers, we ask you to think about this. What could change if every threat, every obsession, and every red flag was taken seriously before it's too late? If you or someone you know is facing harassment or violence, please reach out to trusted support organizations in your area. In Kenya, you can contact Gender Violence Recovery Center or FIDE Kenya for help. Justice was served, but Ivy's story must keep serving others. Thank you for listening to Crime Dopers. If today's story moved you, share this episode. Leave a review, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and help us keep telling the stories that matter. I'm Wanja. Until next time, stay aware, stay kind, and never stop seeking justice.